Now we have got, and I want you to join me for this because you do it better than anyone.
Let's go.
Tim, start deep.
Dive.
Fuck yeah.
Yes.
First person, Nicho Hines effect. Take us away.
The Nicho Hines effect. Yes. So rattling off a few numbers about the impact of Nicho Hines the Sharks Supercoach contingent without Nicho Hines. Now, numbers aren't overwhelming, but get a bit of an idea. So just keen to get your thoughts on it afterwards. But there's three. There's Britton Nikora, Ronaldo Mulitalo and Kale Iro. So Britton Nikora in 3 games without Nicho this season. Scores of 57, 44 and 62. Average of 54.3. So pretty ordinary, but for all 3 of these players in the games without Nicho, they were against the Storm and the Broncos, both which were away. So 2 very tough games, which must be noted, but not the best scoring. Iro, without Nicho this season, scores of 48, 59, 50, average of 52.3, about on par. That's what he scores every single week. Mulitalo, those 3 games, 63, 73 and 31 for an average of 55.7, remembering 2 very tough games in that sequence. So question is, while the numbers don't reveal sort of too much, I believe that Trindle will stay on the left, Atkinson on the right, based on the Broncos game where they played together.
Yep.
I think it has to be a positive for Mulitalo and Iro on that left edge that are going to see more ball. Nikora, don't love it for Nikora. How do you feel about it all?
Mate, I actually don't feel too bad about it, to be honest with you. And I feel really bad for saying this, but I just don't think Nicho's in the right place at the moment. I think his confidence a little bit shot, as it probably should be, what he's had to go through the last few weeks and whatnot. And, mate, I think, like I've said all season, since the preseason, I'm worried about Hines and Trindle, how they're going to work together, because Hines needs to be the dominant guy. My big worry always was Trindle is a dominant footballer. He's a dominant half. I know, like we sit on Bloke and we talk about this and we say, oh, Trindle, you just need to take a backward step. He's a dominant half. I think handing the keys to Trindle, I reckon there's a chance it could be a positive. Their record without Nicho Hines this year is pretty damn impressive. I think it sort of opens them up a little bit more. So I'm actually feeling okay about it. I've got Jesse Ramian as well, and I agree with you, mate. I think that Trindle will play mostly right, but I think Trindle will play a little bit like Hines where he's all over the place.
Trindle left.
Left, sorry, yeah. But I think he'll play dominant half. I reckon he'll be all over the place. That Broncos game, they knew Nicho would be back soon, so I just don't think you change too much. Now that Nicho's out for 8 weeks, I think they'll hand the keys to Trindle, and I don't mind that.
Are you like me expecting Trindle on the left?
I am, but I don't think he'll play just left.
Yeah.
I think you'll see Atkinson play predominantly right, but I think you'll see Trindle play like how Hines does, just all over the park.
Probably right. I don't, not one that I actually consider because he's such low ownership, but not one that I don't like it for Ramian. He's getting a long way away from the dominant ball player on the left edge.
Yeah.
I like him running off Nicho on that edge.
Yeah. I'm also a big Atkinson fan. Like I've got Ramian and Britt Nikora, and honestly, I'm not too concerned. I actually think it could. I think there's a world where it could work out better for them. I really do.
Right.
We'll get to see it for the first time this weekend. I could change my tune immediately, and if so, I'll be filthy. But I'm not overly concerned about it at the moment.
Yeah, I'm
like, don't buy Ramian. Do not buy Ramian. Don't go near him. None of you go near him. Stay away from him. He's a bad egg.
I also, particularly at the price now, I think the ship's sailed, but I wouldn't buy Britton Nikora at the moment either with Nicho out. And yeah, again, my gut feel says I think that left edge will benefit Iro and Mulitalo, and the right edge I'm a bit nervous about, but yeah.
So are you telling me then by that, you don't think the problem's been Iro? You think it's just been that Hines has been so dominant?
I just think like Nicho, roams all around the field like a headless chook.
Yeah.
But at the end of the day, he's a right edge halfback. So the right edge are going to get more ball. I just don't see how the left edge can't get more attacking ball with Trindle being on the left and being dominant, provided he does stay on the left.
I'll tell you what else I think really helps the left edge too. Teague Wilton being back there. He runs one of the best lines in rugby league. So that's a big positive there. So, yeah, I've got a feeling Iro has a good game this weekend, mate. solely because it's round 19 and I've been waiting to get rid of him for 8 weeks. I reckon he kills it this week and finally makes some money. And
It's
becomes
coming,
another
mate.
thorn in the arse.
It's coming. Like there has to be some attack coming for him.
Pretty good draw for them after that. Like Cowboys, South Sydney, Titans, Newcastle, Dragons, Warriors, Manly. A lot of teams that are no stranger to conceding points.
Oh yeah, it's great. I think Iro is probably a season hold. Like, yeah, I don't own him, and I've just been hold my breath every time you're watching. He's like, he bases like 45 per game. The attack has to come at some point.
I'll tell you what, if this week, mate, if they're still right side, like if the right side's still getting plenty of ball and he manages to unlock my boy Jesse Ramian, could be a fucking game changer
And that's
for me.
it. We are doing a lot of guessing here. Anything could happen.
Yeah, we're both guessing 100%. we need to sit down and watch them first. But yeah, an interesting point. Shout out to Ramian, base 51 and 54 the last 2 weeks. Boy can play.
Yeah.
He's a monster.
I owned him this time last year.
Very good player. Let's talk about Trell Mitt. I was one of the, I think it was 11% that owned him last week. One of the 2% that captained him, was looking great. Did it all on 1 foot. Pretty wild. Devastating. Absolutely devastating. The one positive for me, mate, at least I'm losing a guy that's 930K. I can almost go to James Tedesco. But yeah, tough break for me. I was feeling very confident about being a lonely Latrell owner.
Yeah, well, a lot of people would have been targeting him for round 20. Lots would have been able to get to him, especially when you add in Nath Cleary into the conversation round 2021.
Yeah.
Either wouldn't have been able to get to him or it was going to be tough. So you would have had him at, and people that couldn't get him round 20, if he came out and went big there, goes onwards of $1 million, geez, it would have been tough. So it's a bugger. It's a blow.
Sucks. Does free up a lot of cash for me. Not that I needed cash, but it frees up more cash for me to make some moves. It might actually be my exit plan to James Tedesco. To maybe have to swallow my pride there.
Not the end of the world.
We'll see. I'm gonna wait 2 weeks on Latrell to see what we hear and how KP goes, and we'll see what happens. Ryan Madison, mate, talk to me.
Can we talk about the Latrell effect, or we're just going to brush past that, mate?
Yeah, what else do you want to add?
It's not actually about Latrell. It's the Latrell effect, if you look at the deep dive subtopic.
Sure.
Cody Walker. How is it going to impact Cody Walker? 4 games this season without Latrell Mitchell. Scores of 38, 66, 51 and 49. Now, a few things you've got to take into consideration with that is, like, the Bunnies are playing significantly better football now. And not so much this week, but obviously Cam Murray back, a few more players back on deck. They're a better football side than they were. Those games were against the Sharks when they were up top of the table, the Storm, the Panthers, and Manly in the wet in that last Origin week in round 16, which was almost a write-off of a week. So, again, about as hard as it gets opposition-wise. Question to you, Cody Walker, we'll get to him shortly trade-wise, because I think you're maybe eyeing him off. How do you feel about Cody Walker without Latrell Mitchell in the side?
I appreciate you finding those stats, but I don't give a fuck. I just they are up and about. They're a different football team. I don't think there's a team in this competition that I rely more on vibe and eye test than the South Sydney Rabbitohs.
How much does Latrell Mitchell have to do with that, though?
I'm sure he has something to do with it, but I also, mate, I think you can just see Jack and Cody are just up and bouncing. They are. I think moving Keon to the middle has been massive. I actually don't think Souths fall into a heap without Latrell. I reckon they're going to hold their own and do okay. So yeah, I feel pretty confident bringing Cody in. I'm bringing him in this week. I'm hoping that a lot of people lean on, oh, Latrell's not there, Cody's going to struggle. Mate, I think as well, like I said on Bloke the other day, just how direct Jack Whiten's been. I think it's just helps Cody so much. So I feel pretty confident, especially if he's goal kicking on top of that. That's the other Latrell effect. I like Cody. I love their draw. I'm all in.
Beautiful. I'm just doing a live dive of last year without Latrell. So he missed round 13 to 21. How'd Cody go in that time? 13 to 21. Scores of 68, 100, 36, 79, 55. So
Mixed bag, but
pretty good going.
yeah.
Yeah.
I feel really confident on Cody Walker. I'm happy to dive in on him. I guess the other one, mate, which I suppose we'll touch on quickly. I know you mentioned him this morning, Jai Gray. Fullback?
Yeah, mate, I'm keen on him. We'll get to trades in a minute because it's all relevant to what my trade plans are in coming weeks.
Okay. Madison, talk to me. What do we got?
Look, I don't think I'm going to do it, but 479k in a pack depleted of forwards with Junior Borlo and Jermaine Hopgood out long term. He's been, I don't want to say Supercoach gun, but borderline Supercoach gun for a number of years. Averages the last 4 years of 62, 66, 65, 75. But there's also been injuries in that time and mixed minutes due to all sorts of reasons. When he's playing and he's playing big minutes, he's a good Supercoach scorer. And we saw that last week against the Rabbitohs. Played 71 minutes, scored 64 points with 64 in base. The only other game he's played sort of those bigger minutes this year. He played 80 minutes back in round 8 against Manly, scored 64 points with 58 in base. I'm not going to go there. They've got the bye next week. It then goes into a really tough draw home, which doesn't really worry me that much, concern me that much for a forward because they get through their work, but he could finish with a bang.
I think it's worth noting as well that South Sydney game I was out there, he looks great, 64 minutes. 71 minutes, 64 in base. A lot of rain around during that game, so I think he sort of put the offload away. You look at the week before against Newcastle, but they couldn't contain the ball. He was offloading at will. So
he's got some attack in him.
Got plenty of attack in him. You pick him up this week for the Gold Coast Titans, who seemingly look a lot better to me. Then he's got Melbourne, New Zealand, Penrith, Roosters, and then Brisbane at Suncorp, where if they've turned the corner, Parramatta still playing without a coach, a little bit rudderless at the moment. Not that it matters a heap for him, but I think if you're picking up a back row for the run home, you want that attacking upside.
Attacking upside, I suppose the other concern with that draw is if Parra don't show up for a few of those games and it's blowout scores, just ball in play, those sorts of things. But
yeah, and I just also, mate, like fucking Matt Dury's on one edge, Charlie Guymer's at 13. Like, I don't know what this Parramatta side's going to look like on Saturday, let alone what's going to look like in 2 or 3 weeks' time. So and Matto, he's got a great history of being a great Supercoach player. He's also got a history of being a huge pain in the ass. And God knows what Jason Rolls. We also know that Matto's a little bit of a different cat, realistically. So it's just hard to work out where he fits in.
Yeah. No, I agree.
It's his 4th club in 5 or 6 years. Like, I love Matto, but it does also have a bit of a history of falling out of favour at any given moment.
Yeah. There's enough uncertainty there to keep me away from him.
Yeah. Yeah, I agree. Ruben Garrick loves a flight back from Cairns with certain producers of the rugby league world. Talk to me.
Is there a chance that Cat knew he was going to be on the flight and decided to go to Cairns and stalk him and get on his flight home?
I think there's a chance, yeah, because Riley Wishart's now been missing for 3 days. We don't know where she is. So I think there's a chance that Kathmandu has infiltrated one of the great rugby league families out of Gerringong.
I think what's crazy is that you should turn the story around and it was Garrick knew what a flight I was going
Garrick
on.
was after her.
Why is it my fault? I don't chase, I attract.
Yeah,
what can I
that's fair.
say?
That's fair. Shout out to you, Ruben Garrick. Very good looking rooster.
Yeah.
Talk to me about his super coach.
Mate, I need to be
stats.
short and sharp here, but there's still enough out there that don't own after he missed games through concussion and had the lowest score a few weeks back. Just get him in. Last week, I felt like he was almost unsighted in that game.
Yeah.
And he ended up with 73 points. I'm like, how? Listen to his stats. They're so just blasé. 1 try contribution, that's 4 points. A tackle break, an ineffective offload, 2 points. 4 goals, 20 tackles, 20 runs. He scored 73 and did nothing.
Absolutely nothing. And you said he felt like he was unsighted. He was almost as unsighted as the week before that when I captained him and he got concussed twice in 40 minutes. So shout out to Ruben. Good to see you return. Happy to have you. But yeah, I think he is an absolute must-have, Timbo.
Get him in. Find a way.
Find a way.